Hello, we are delighted that you decided to join us for another Explore Tulsa. And to express our gratitude, we start the show with a rising young star in T-Town.
Then ding dong, the tent is gone.
Followed by the official retirement of the mower.
Plus the magic of father and son.
Hi, I'm Stevie Fernandez.
And I'm Trish Whitmer, happy to be here with you as we once again bring you another episode of Explore Tulsa.
And this is a great time of year too, Trish, as we celebrate National Ugly Truck Day this week.
Oh, you should definitely enter your truck in that parade.
First of all, I drive a sport utility vehicle, and it's a classic.
Oh wow, that's pretty good acting, Stevie, calling your car a classic and being able to keep a straight face.
Can you tell that I'm acting now? Like I like you because you were so mean to me?
Not really, but maybe you could take some pointers from our first guest, an 11-year-old acting sensation, Taylor Mosby.
I probably got started in acting, plays and stuff, when I was 6. But actually being on TV, more around 10 or 9. Whenever I would see something on TV, I would memorize the commercial and just do it all around the house. And so I tried out for Annie, and then from there it just kind of worked out.
She used to go to Ava Maria, the lady that took care of her, said, you know what, this kid is really, advanced. She's talking and, she's really good and she's comprehending a lot of things, and they were like, you really should think about doing something with her. I never thought about it at the time, but as you go on, you think, I remember, people saying, hey, she has the it factor.
I don't much care where.
Well, I did just a small Oklahoma natural gas commercial, and then I did an OERB commercial, and it was so fun because waking up early in the morning just excited the heck out of me. Well, it's completely different from Oklahoma, that's for sure. Weather was different, the people were different, traffic was different, but I felt as if I was like a celebrity. I was like, well, I'm in California, people. It's a nice little feeling.
Well, what if I feed it?
When you're in Oklahoma, it's more of a family feel, it's home. It's gonna always be home. LA is more though one of those places to where you really have to know where you're going.
I did a short film. That was the first thing. That was one of the reasons I flew out to LA. I did that and I said, come on, Christina, let's go. I felt like a cartoon.
Come on, Christina, let's get up.
It was a family reunion movie. The first part, I was running through the house because my brother was chasing me with a spider. And then in comes Grandma telling me to sit down on the couch, and then I got in trouble, even though I didn't do anything, which sounds like my life crazily. I did a show called Twisted, and I was the younger version of the lead role. That was probably one of the coolest things I've ever done in my life. We had to run through the woods, and they built us a treehouse just for the scene. It was just, I felt so honored. The next role was an AT&T commercial that I did. And when I did it, I had to eat a Brussels sprout. I ate about, 5 million Brussels sprouts that day. I loved Brussels sprouts, but after that day, I was kind of done with them for the rest of my life. Yes, the middle. It was really cool because I got a trailer. That was one of my first trailers that I got. And so when I got in it, there was food and this freeze-dried and healthy vegan lemonade. It was just mind-blowing. I got to meet a lot of stars, and of course my mom was just taking pictures left and right. Well, I don't know if it was illegal or not, but it was really fun to meet all those stars.
Wow, there's just so many people. She's met Willow Smith, Romeo, the little singer. And so she's met Evelyn Champagne. She met her at it was a venue that she was actually singing for Evelyn Champagne. She met her there, so it was really exciting.
And typically I have to make sure that I stay connected with the character, as they would say. Or they would say, don't let Hollywood get to your head. Many people say that. But that would be one of the common things that they would say to me.
I just hope that she continues to enjoy it and to embrace this opportunity, because a lot of kids don't really have the opportunity. And when you get the opportunity, I think as long as she embraces it and she wants it and she has that desire, we're gonna support her.
Doing some work too.
I would want to be in the type of movies, kind of hero action movies, but I would also like to be in comedies. Because drama's really cool, but you know, it's easier to laugh than cry. Just in my opinion. Well, I would say be prepared for the worst. Not like the sky is falling, but just be prepared for rejection, because 10 no's can equal 1 yes, or 10 no's can equal 11 no's. But just be prepared for the worst and always keep your head up. Always.
Taylor has a ton of talent, and it's been exciting to get to know her as she comes in here frequently for the Explore Tulsa studios to audition for major film roles and national TV shows.
If you'd like to learn more about Taylor, look her up on IMDb or look for her in The Cleaver Family Reunion and The Middle, now on Netflix.
So Trish, if you had like a little ding in your car, you know, where would you take it?
Oh my gosh, Stevie, were you in an accident?
No, but my car did kind of ding your car with the door a little bit in the parking lot.
Lucky for you, there is a way to make it like new again. And coming up, we will meet the Dent Terminator himself when we return with more Explore Tulsa.
You really should.
Ever since the first movie theaters opened in the early 1900s, man has been trying everything to bring that same experience home to enjoy with their families. And for more than 30 years, Video Revolution and their home entertainment experts have been making those dreams come true by designing custom home theater solutions for both in and outdoor use. From 1080p LEDs to the brand new Sony 4K flat panel TVs, or come in to see the latest in sound bars and surround sound setups. Always the top name brands are found at Video Revolution. That same electronic expertise we also apply to your business communications network, from boardroom automation to video wall presentations. No matter what technology the future holds, you can count on Video Revolution to be leading the way. Tulsa's headquarters for the best selection and installation of cutting-edge electronics. Video Revolution on the northwest corner of 71st and Lewis.
Hey, it's Stevie from Explore Tulsa with my friend and optometrist for many years, Dr. Robert Zellner. Tell everybody why it's so good to come in to see you.
Well, that's a great question. Let's see, we've got 2 great locations. We try to stay cutting edge at every point along the way because, let's face it, everybody wants to come in and get taken care of in a timely fashion and get the latest, greatest stuff and save some money and get on with their life. And see clearly.
And if you don't believe it, look on the website.
Absolutely, drzellner.com. You can find that we have our 2 locations at 69th and Memorial and 3030 South Harvard, or you can give us a call at 749-2020 or 461-2020.
And I got 4 kids, and I got to tell you, as a big family like that, it's affordable too.
Oh yes, and of course, the number one reason, you save some money. I mean, with our 2-pair specials, with our different unique packages that we put together, I mean, you can come in here and your money can go a lot farther than anywhere else.
And that's why with Dr. Robert Zellner and Associates, seeing is believing.
Oh, I like that, Stevie. Well done.
Well, hi, it's wonderful to have you back with us as we continue with more Explore Tulsa.
Now, recently I met our next guest when my wife's car's bumper, it kind of had this big dent on the back side of the driver's side.
Wait a minute, did you wreck your wife's car?
I'm not saying another word until I speak to my attorney.
Well, lucky for you, Tim at the Dent Terminator can do his magic and make it look like brand new again.
So back in 2003, I worked with a guy and he had a big company and we were doing a huge shop. They do like $1 million a month in Dallas. And he was training somebody to work and, you know, I'd trained a few guys. And so just making small talk, I asked him, I said, how's the training going with this guy? He goes, oh, you know, how do you teach someone to see what you see? And that little phrase right there was just like stuck in my brain for a while. It is a bit of a learning curve, and that's, you know that a guitar can be played, you've heard the music and everything, and then you put one in your hands and you realize how hard it is. And that's kind of the way paintless dent repair is. So before I actually started doing the dent pulling, I was painting. I was doing conventional regular body work. And in fact, I owned a body shop in Oklahoma City in '89, and I had already scheduled a car, and the dealer called me, he goes, hey, did you start on that car? I said, no. He goes, bring it back, these guys are gonna fix it without painting. I was like, what? Never heard of that, not gonna happen. And so I watched the car, and I looked at it a couple days later, and it was actually done. And when I saw that, I was like, ah, that's interesting. But from then on, I knew I wanted to get into it, and so then later on, a buddy of mine did get into it here in Tulsa, and he hired me, and I moved up here from Oklahoma City. Then video kind of came along, actually sort of by accident. I was training a guy, and he trained too short of a time. So in other words, he only had 3 days, but he wanted to see what it was about. And I said, well, it's not enough time, but I said, if I video it, maybe it would be okay, and I'll give you the video or whatever. And so with the video, he looked at it, and he could see the monitor, and he could see, you know, I trained the camera on the dent, and he could see on the monitor, he goes, wow, he goes, I can totally see that. I wonder if you can fix the dent. And so basically I turned my head, looked at the monitor, and was still pushing on the car. And from that birthed a deal called the You See What I See program, where I actually figured out, you know, how to mount a camera on the head, which is not great, but it did work, you know, and then I wore a head-worn monitor. And so whatever I was seeing was actually, you know, in the video was actually recorded. And since I was fixing it from what was on screen, the person watching gets the experience of this is exactly what you're supposed to see, exactly where you're supposed to look. It's kind of a neat process where basically what you do is you watch the top while you push from the bottom, and so you can actually see where you are, even though you can't see your tool. And so you learn to watch for those reactions, and you just get better. It's really hand control and eye coordination. There are some things that kind of surprise me. There's a lot of myths about what we do. In other words, heat and cold. People say dry ice and things like that. Well, those will move metal, but we don't use them for reasons that it's too hard on the paint. But there is a process that's kind of intriguing to me, and I don't know how much it's being, you know, how viable it is on everything. But when I was painting cars, we used to take dents out with a torch, you know, so it was a certain application of heat that would actually make the dent pop, but it could only be a certain size dent. It couldn't be in certain locations, so it was limited. But here lately with induction, which is actually heating metal using certain frequencies and voltage and a little bit of magnetic thrown in there too, and I've actually seen that pull dents out. So I've not had my hands on, but a friend of mine is using it in New Zealand. His guys are using it there, and so we're kind of excited about that. Maybe it might be viable. I do believe that it starts out painting by numbers, and so if you follow the process, then it becomes an art form. And so can anybody do it? Anybody that wants to put their mind to it, I believe can. I think there are certain people that have an aptitude for it that can learn a lot quicker than others. You know, if the guy wants to apply the skill, take the time to do it, then it becomes art, you know, and then you can call yourself an artist.
I've actually used Tim on a couple of my cars. He does some amazing work. Plus, it's really affordable, and you can even take a picture of your dent and send it off to him in a text message, and he'll give you an estimate.
If you have a dent on your car, here's a couple of tips. Quit parking next to Stevie and check in with Tim, the Dent Terminator, at TulsaHailRepair.com.
All right, we found an easy way to get rid of dents. Now, if we could find a way to not have to mow anymore, then all of my problems would be solved.
Oh, there is a way to make your lawn look perfect year-round.
Yeah, move to Hawaii.
No, just stay with us on Explore Tulsa as we introduce you to Tony at Grass Concepts just ahead.
Hello friends, it's Dr. Danny for the Danny Beck Chevrolet Clinic. I'm creating a giant sale, great rebates, great selection, huge discounts, generous trade allowances, a little extra trade allowances, and my secret ingredient. We're gonna make a spectacular sale. Cat, you better get here while you still can. Nurse.
Persimmon Hollow Flea Market Village. Shop 16 buildings on 3 acres, free admission, and parking's free too. Open every weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Find us 1 block east of 71st and Garnett, behind the Salvation Army store.
2 things real men really want in their lives: more Explore Tulsa and their very own putting green.
Women like to play golf and watch Explore Tulsa too, you know, and we're all in luck because now you can have both.
Now, back on Father's Day, my kids helped me build my own putting green, so I was wondering what it would take for just about anyone to have one.
And that's when we met Tony at Grass Concepts.
Yeah, it's amazing from a historical standpoint. You know, 10 years ago, the turf that was out there was definitely lower quality. over the past 5, 6, 7 years or so, you can look at our artificial grass and real local fescue or Bermuda and can't tell a difference. So the industry as a whole has advanced, and that's obviously a plus to the consumer in the end. My name's Tony Espino. I'm the owner of Grass Concepts. Started this company 2 years ago, and from a starting process, we started 2 years ago. I was actually interested in installing artificial grass, my wife and I, in South Tulsa. There wasn't a lot of competition out there, so we started to do our own venture about 2 years ago. A big part of our sales, if you will, is from golfers. So as opposed to them driving to the local country club and kind of spending 15 minutes driving there, 15 minutes driving back, you've got the benefit of having a custom putting green in your backyard. So that whole process is usually about 2 or 3 days to install the putting green, and they've got about a 10-year warranty on all of our products, which is beneficial for kind of longevity, but also kind of the inconvenience of driving to and from your local country club. The preparation process is 3 or 4 steps. The first one is excavation and removal of your existing grass and dirt. We follow that up with about a 3 to 4 inch aggregate base, which is a rock and screening base. And then after that, we install the turf as well as the fringe around the entire perimeter of the turf. And then we top that off with infill for playability of the golf ball as well. From an environmental standpoint, there's many benefits that artificial grass has. The biggest one is typically homeowners who have their lawn treated on a weekly or monthly basis. They are spraying it with fertilizers or the pesticides. It's obviously good for the grass to keep it green as far as throughout the dead months, if you will. But in the end, that product kind of works its way downstream, and so you've got kind of an environmental risk as far as the fertilizer and spray that's used on real grass gets pushed down. Actually, with artificial grass, that's eliminated. It's basically zero maintenance, and therefore you're not spraying those chemicals downstream to our local water sources. The past 4 or 5 years, it's definitely increased as far as demand for our products, and we look to the coast. So California, Florida, even Arizona, Nevada, there is a huge demand for that product out there, and a lot of it's based off of water rationing and just extreme elements. And we're starting to see that demand come from the coast and kind of work its way down to Oklahoma, where our clients are actually asking for it as an alternative to real grass or even sod for that matter. When we complete a project, there's obviously personal satisfaction, so kind of going from the before and after, if you will. There's obviously a lot of steps and several days usually, preparation and also installing the final product. But the biggest important thing is, at the end of a project, being able to talk to a customer, and usually they're satisfied with our services and products, and we know that the product's going to last 10 to 15 years and essentially be zero maintenance. So there's satisfaction that we did a good job, but also the customer in end will benefit from a clean and also very usable product, whether it's the playgrounds, the putting greens, or even the artificial grass.
Next time I build a house, I'm calling Tony, turning the entire yard into one big putting green.
If you like to dream big like Stevie here, visit grassconcepts.com to learn how Tony can help you go turf green at your place.
Now that we've been able to make my lawnmower disappear, I think it'd be nice to see some real magic.
Oh, I know just the guys, the father and son team of Lost City Magic.
That's our cue to disappear and come back in just a few with more Explore Tulsa.
Hi, Dr. Robert Zellner here. For over 20 years, I've offered affordable, convenient eye care in Tulsa. Right now, you can get 1 pair of glasses or contact lenses starting at just $99, or my 2-pair deal for $129. Hey, and as always, the eye exam's included. Walk-ins are always welcome. Glasses are ready in about an hour. Plus, we have over 2,000 frames to choose from. We're open 7 days a week. Come see why we're voted Tulsa's best. And our drive-thru at 69th and Memorial makes pickup simple and easy. For the best eye care value in Tulsa, Dr. Robert Zellner and Associates.
At Video Revolution,
We've got
today's 3D technology.
Smart TVs.
And I can help you pick the one that's
a larger size TV.
We handle it all here at Video Revolution.
Now people can get
a 90-inch TV.
Locally owned and operated.
Now coming up on a 30-year anniversary.
Customer service is our priority.
We have our own service center.
It just brings back enjoyment to watching TV.
And now it's affordable for everybody.
And we sell fun stuff. It's like toys for big kids.
Customers that come into Video Revolution are blown away.
Persimmon Hollow Flea Market Village. Shop 16 buildings on 3 acres. Free admission and parking's free too. Open every weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Find us 1 block east of 71st and Garnett behind the Salvation Army store.
If you love a little presto changeo, then you'll be so glad you stuck around for more Explore Tulsa.
That's right, Stevie. Our next guests are special not just because they're a father and son team of magicians, but they're also fans of the show that visited exploretulsa.com and sent us an email asking if they could be on the show.
And abracadabra, they appear like magic on the show.
We've had magic around our home forever. I've got magic books that I've picked up. My dad done a little magic. My grandpa done a little magic. It was usually just coin out of a person's ear or something like that, but it was just real simple stuff. But then my great-great-grandmother, she was more of a healer type magician, and we also had a rainmaker in our family. And to this day, or the legend is that if you needed to rain, pour water on his grave.
It was aggravating growing up because you grew up, you'd seen it all already. It was kind of weird because growing up, the first magician I'd ever seen was David Copperfield on TV, and he supposedly done a mentalism trick where you at home followed along, and it didn't work. And then the second magicians we'd seen was Penn and Teller. And they were hilarious, but we couldn't imitate what they were doing because they used camera trickery, and so. But then we'd go back home, and then there'd be him and my grandpa, or one of his brothers, one of my uncles. They'd sit there and do something with, like make a wasp appear out of their fingertips, or they'd pick up dirt and turn it into a snake. And to somebody that had never seen it, it was something amazing. Then about 5 years ago, he suggested doing this professionally and trying it. Because we'd sit there and we'd get bored. If there was nothing on TV, he'd do a coin trick, and well, then I'd pick up a coin and I'd imitate it and then do something different, and then he would come up with something different with it. And then pretty soon we were like, well, why don't we just try doing this for a living? And now I've got an 8-year-old niece, and it's kind of come around full circle. I'll come up with a new trick and perform for her, and she's like, oh, it was in your other hand. So it's just kind of come back to me and hit me again that, oh, okay, yeah, and that's what he feels like whenever I told him that as a kid.
I've seen a lot of fathers and sons that can't work together at all because they just clash. And our personalities are so much alike that we spend a lot of time together. We spend hours and hours studying, practicing. And but before we done this, we got into magic. We were carpenters. We worked together there. Before that, we were buggy builders, horse-drawn vehicles. His personality being like mine, we really achieved or tried to be the best at whatever we tried to do, and it's just really worked well because it takes a lot of work and spending a lot of time together. You really get aggravated with each other at times, but we still get along and still able to practice and get our tricks done and learn. It's like today, we'll probably spend all day today together, and then tonight we'll go home and practice some more tricks.
Sometimes we disagree and argue, but it's never been nothing more than that. It's just more of an argument between two people that have to work together than anything else. I'll go flipping through the deck, and you just tell me,
stop.
Go ahead and take that card. Let them see it. And was this the card that you had picked?
Yeah.
That wasn't it. You got a lighter on? We'll just do a little magic and we'll make it the card you picked. Was that your card?
It's been a fun deal, though. We've had we've met people from all over. We've performed in Tennessee, Arkansas, Colorado, and just met tons and tons of people. People that we, in no way would we have ever been able to get to meet. Magic has, provided that for us. And it's just been a really good experience for us.
That magic looked pretty cool. Here, I'm going to try a little trick. I want you to pick a card.
Okay.
And look at it. Just one. Just need one.
Okay.
And put it back in the deck. Don't let me see it. Don't tell me what it is.
Okay.
And I'm just going to shuffle them just a little bit here. Pink. Is that your card on the floor there?
Stevie, all the cards are on the floor. If you'd like to hire a real magician, look for Bob and Jeremy on Facebook as Lost City Magic.
Stick around. We'll make even more Explore Tulsa reappear.
Hi, I'm Terry Farrell here at Video Revolution, and I wanted to talk today a little bit about the new 4K TVs. TVs basically are made up of 1,080 lines of resolution. Each line of resolution has thousands of pixels. A 4K TV is basically doubling those lines of resolution from 1080p to 2160p. It almost quadruples the number of pixels, so we have a crisper, more detailed picture than we've ever had before. I mean, you think that regular high definition is good, and it is, but the 4K technology is that much better. The resolution is just incredible. 7 or 8 years ago, we would back people up 20 feet from a 70-inch TV for it to look good. Now you can literally sit 6 feet from a 70-inch TV, a 4K TV, and it just looks incredible. With competition between all the brands, the prices are falling. 8 months to a year ago, you almost paid double for the 4K technology. We carry the Sony, Samsung, Sharp, even have a big 84-inch LG 4K TV. If I was looking to do a custom home system, I would want to build it around a 4K TV because you don't want to have to be replacing something and be backwards in technology. You want to be set up for what's to come. 4K is the way to go, and this is the place here at Video Revolution to come and see a good demo.
Be sure and join us next week when we go shopping for Tulsa treasures with Michelle Reed of 2MS Estate Sales.
We want to thank Taylor Mosby and her family for sharing her wonderful acting career with us.
Thanks too to Tim at the Dent Terminator. I'll call you about Trish's Dean. Oh, and to Tony of Grass Concepts for keeping my dream alive of an all-yard putting green.
Plus, thanks to Bob and Jeremy of Lost City Magic for all the great, fun, and amazing tricks.
Remember, if you miss any of the show, you can always catch us at ExploreTulsa.com.
As always, each week we feature the people, places, and attractions that make us proud to call Tulsa our home.
Oh, hey, don't forget to like us on Facebook. Share with us someone you think Tulsa should know more about.
Plus, remember, Explore Tulsa is brought to you by Video Revolution, located on the northwest corner of 71st and Lewis.
Stop by, say hello to Ron and all the guys for your home entertainment needs.
And Explore Tulsa is also proudly brought to you by Dr. Robert Zollner and Associates.
Home of the 2-pair for $129 deal with 2 locations, 3030 South Harvard and 69th and Memorial.
Well, that's all the time we have for you on this week's show, but we'll see you next week right here on Explore Tulsa.